Hello, Life Group family. Welcome to our new series about wonder. I'm so excited about this series as I've been talking to Pastor Kevin. Just the amazingness of what it means to like really rediscover the wonder of God, the fear of the Lord, the awe of who He is and what He does in our lives. Today with me, I have Caitlin Klein. She is our nursery director. Did I get that right?
Coordinator.
Nursery coordinator for our kids department, and she is doing an amazing job with the kids. So yeah, I asked her to be here today because like last week we talked about the testimonies, and we had such an amazing time with all the different even the children coming up and sharing their testimonies. And to me, when we talk about wonder, one of the things that immediately just strikes me is that with wonder, like how wonderful is the world around us when you're a child. Like you start, like when I teach my son about stuff, he's like, whoa, that's me. Like he's never thought of it before, never encountered it before. And so everything is this like amazing, fresh, new experience every time he prays for somebody and they're supernaturally healed. It's like, it's not like, oh yeah, I've done that 1,000 times. It's like,
Right.
this is like, whoa, this is the first time. Like, that's awesome. So can you talk to me about like, what that looks like in the kids department, what that says look like for you and your children?
Yeah. Well, I guess for starters, that's a lot of what I want to bring to the kids department in the baby room specifically, because it's on a such smaller scale.
Yeah.
And there's not room for, like, it's not something big that has to take place. It's like these small lives. It's like they could just be having a bad day. But like one small thing that you bring to the room can like create joy in the entire room. So doing that in my own life, well, I have 3 boys, and one of the coolest things was through my life group, which is your life group.
It is my life group.
I had a sick kid at home, so I couldn't go to the life group, but my oldest son got to go. And he went, and we had already prayed over my son, but he went to the life group, and with a group of kids, they just prayed over my son. And by the time he got home, he was like totally better. He was like running around. He wanted to play outside. It was just like, it wasn't something we could do.
Yeah.
But like the faith of the children that brought that about. So that's
amazing. How old were they? How old are your sons?
So my oldest is 9. And then my middle son, he is 6. And that was the one that was sick.
Wow.
And then I have a 3-year-old.
Nice. That's amazing. It's like, what Pastor Joe was talking about this morning, and just about the angels like revealing themselves to these shepherds, the shepherds that are totally like uneducated bumpkins. I mean, it's like, it's amazing, like what the Lord will do, like how He uses some of us, like from like, I don't have doctorate degrees in theology, and I don't have all these, but the Lord uses us in whatever circumstances we're in to be able to just, speak forth His heart and be able to heal people and all the amazing things that we've been talking about the last couple series. So that's really cool. How is it that like, how have you experienced, or have you ever felt like you were afraid of being used by the Lord, or afraid of like stepping out in faith or things like that?
So in that, like being afraid, I first started going to a mom's group, and because I was feeling very alone in my own life, and I couldn't, like, I didn't feel like I had the strength to do outward things on my own. But being surrounded by a group of,
trying to take care of your own house and everything,
it's just like a lot. And so learning that it didn't take much to like cause a big impact. When I started coming to Mount Hope and there wasn't a mom's group, I felt a very big just call to start that. And through another friend that goes here that's also a mom, we were like, we have to do it. And I was like waiting for like somebody high in leadership,
from heaven,
like somebody that they can take the charge and I'll just be a part of it. Like, but there wasn't like somebody doing that. So instead, my friend Missy, she like pushed me to like get it going, and I still feel inadequate like every week that I show up, but God always shows up. And like there's always like he meets us where we're at, and like sometimes there's a need to just sit and talk and like be around people to relate with people. And then other times like I bring in people that know a lot more, and then they can like really pour into these moms, and it just really, it blesses me probably even more than it blesses them. But yeah, I've gotten great feedback that it's like it needs to happen.
That's awesome.
And that pushes me to keep going. So
yeah. Have you ever had the Lord tell you like specifically, like, you know, when the angels told the shepherds, like, don't be afraid, like, you know, they're like, like, have you ever had the Lord tell you to do something and it was like, you know, hard to be obedient in that moment, or what did that look like for you?
Yeah. I guess like what I can think of is I've had, let me think. There's a couple different things that were in my mind, but actually, okay, I'm going to do a different example. I've had a couple of dreams like in the last couple of years, and not really sure what they meant. They had to do with children and like shoes specifically, and because being in the children's area, that wasn't like what I felt passionate to be in. I was like, I love my own kids.
Yeah.
But I had these...
Handling a lot of kids at once is still a lot for anybody.
It's a lot. So, but I had these dreams that all of a sudden, like the pieces all clicked together, and it was, it basically showed me like, yes, you're learning how to pour God's identity into your own children, but there are a lot of other children that need that too.
Yeah.
And it just opened my eyes and really like showed me that I'm supposed to be doing this right now in this season. And maybe it's only for a season, but we'll see what the Lord has planned.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
that's awesome.
It's scary, but I knew it was what the Lord wanted.
Yeah, and you're already seeing fruitfulness in this. You're already seeing the Lord show up for you in so many ways. That's really cool to see, you know, what the Lord, like him just kind of pushing you forward in that, you know, and using like like you said, like, you know, it's like it doesn't require the degrees and everything else. It's just, you know, it's amazing when we're obedient to what the Lord has called us to do, how much of an impact that can change, you know, in moms or in children or whatever that looks like. So.
Well, you were talking about the angels and the shepherds, how they were all part of the big story, you know, but they didn't all have like a big role. It was like some brought gifts, they were following a star.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it was just we all worked together to complete like an ultimate mission, you know, like it's all to draw people closer to Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be a really interesting thing for, you know, to just show up with like at this manger, you know, with the baby in it, and like after the angels have just like completely revealed all this stuff to you, you know, and you're shoulder to shoulder with these like kings or magi or whatever these people are, you know, like and like, you know, they've been following stars for years or whatever to get to this place. And here you are, like these, you know, country bumpkins, like this angels told us to come, you know, like, you know, just experiencing like the birth of the Savior, you know, like, and like, you know, getting to know him as or see him as a baby would just, you know, it'd be amazing to like, just experience that, you know, to like, you know, like it, and like, I love the way that you said that, where it is like, you know, God didn't bring like all the like fancy people. He didn't bring all that, you know, I mean, it was like, but there were people from all different walks of life that were there together, that it was, you know, it was like they got to witness, you know, this amazing child, and
Yeah.
like what God had done, and the beginning of the fulfillment of the promise that He had laid, for so many years ago, and that's really cool.
And to think about the innkeeper who, like, it was the only place left.
Yeah.
And then to realize later on that, like, oh, I, like, provided a place for our Savior to be born.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. That would be wild to, go back and like, as he like, and I've always wondered that too, like, as this innkeeper who's like, no, we have no place
Yeah.
for you to like be born, and like,
you can go sleep with the sheep.
right. But then, to have Jesus like visit their town or to like see him speak and to like perform miracles and whatever else. And you're like, wait, that Jesus is the one that's here, like
Right.
is the same one, Yeah, that would be amazing. Yeah. It's so cool to just, think about and see what the Lord does. And like, some of those like seemingly simple things where, but it fulfills prophecy. It's like the fulfillment of his word. It's like, people coming from that have been waiting on this message for years, people that have been given this message 5 minutes ago, people that are, like Mary, who's been like dealing with all the fear and anxiety, of like being ostracized from her community and her family with this virgin birth that nobody believed, like all the things that like, coming into this moment, from so many different walks of life and so many different ways that the Lord like revealed his heart, and different places that he revealed his heart and different, like things that he orchestrated to create that moment, and with a star in the sky and angels in the, like just appearing and all these amazing things. Like, it really is an astounding thing to like, just see how complex the Lord's plans are, to see how he has brought all these things together. You start looking from Eden, even with the, the trees that he planted there and how that like set the stage for the Savior to come and fulfill those things, just all this stuff. Like, it's such an amazing and complex thing, like it is like childlike wonder. You're like, like for as complicated as I can, like, I mean, if I'm writing a story, like I'm lucky if I get a couple of good characters out of it, but like, like for the Lord to just like completely, set the stage for all this. And over the course of thousands of years to be able to put all these things together and like this intricate plan, it's just amazing. Like, yeah. And then to be able to, like do what you do, where you get to speak into these little babies, you get to like, like worship with them and pray over them and speak life into them and, answer all the why questions, that like those ages. We got my son a t-shirt. It just said why all over it. Because that was all he said. That, it's just like, they're always asking why. And it's, you see that like they're looking for the heart behind it. And I love that the Lord reveals himself in so many different ways like that. And and it's so amazing just to see at that age, like how much it does light up their lives, like how much they're like, what? Like, somebody planned this, like something like, that's so amazing. So, well, thank you so much for joining us today. The last thing I want to talk to you guys about before you leave is we do have a ugly Christmas sweater contest that we're doing. You may notice my lovely abominable snowman. You and your life group, if you want to do a ugly Christmas sweater party, and then have a competition between you and your group members, or if only one of you wants to participate, that's fine too. Whoever wins in your group, if you want to submit the picture to the link below, we would love to see your pictures. The staff is actually going to vote on all the winners, and we're going to pick the top 5. Those top 5 will be able to join us on stage for a grand prize competition, the top 5 winners. So there will be a trophy and there will be an amazing prize. You do not want to miss this. Please bust out your coolest sweaters or your ugliest sweaters, as the case may be. And we're just going to have a lot of fun with this. So thank you guys so much for joining us today. Hope you have a great week.